Hi there, Laura here from iHeart Planners, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use a digital planner on GoodNotes. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my previous video where I talk about what digital planners are and what device you can use them on. Before we dive in, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos that are coming your way. So today I will be using my iPad Pro and my Apple Pencil. I want to note that there are other types of tablets and pencils that you can use, and I talked about that in my previous video. I am also using the GoodNotes app. Right now it's available on the App Store. I think it's about $8. It is one of the best $8 I have spent on an app in my life. So I highly recommend, if you have an iPad, that you go ahead and get GoodNotes. And I'm going to take you here to GoodNotes. And I also want to mention that you can download the GoodNotes app for your smartphone. And if you have an iMac or MacBook, you can download it there as well. It doesn't have the full features on your smartphone or your computer, but what I love about it is that if I wrote something down in my digital planner on my iPad and I'm like at the store or somewhere else, I can reference it on my smartphone or even on my computer. Just makes it easier. So I want to point out that I won't be talking about exactly how to do that in that video, but go ahead and download those and they automatically sync up like magic. So everything you do will be on all of your devices. All right, so here I am in GoodNotes, and you'll see I have several things loaded in here already. So I'm going to assume that you already have a digital planner. If you don't have one, we have a few available. Just click the link below and you can check out what we have available. And I'm going to assume that you already have it opened in GoodNotes. And if you purchase a digital planner from us, we do have a tutorial on how you can open it in GoodNotes. It's pretty simple. And then I'm going to go ahead and open the plain vanilla digital planner. So I just tapped on it. You'll see I'm right here in the middle of the planner, but I want to show you some of the features. So I'm going to click this like home button right there, and you'll see it goes to the home page. Now, digital planners can all be designed differently, but a good design of a digital planner will have a lot of what we call hyperlinks. So what that means is that you can easily navigate to where you want to go in the planner without having to just like scroll. That would be obviously annoying, and it would also make it not as advantageous over using a paper planner. But because of the hyperlinks, it's almost as easy, or I would say even easier, to go to the page that you want than it would be in a paper planner. So the first thing I want to mention that's super critical is, you see this little, I call it a lasso. I'm not really sure what the icon is supposed to mean. When it looks like this pin with a lasso around it, that means I'm in read mode. So that means whenever I take my pencil over the screen, it's not actually writing. Instead, it's wanting me to tap on the hyperlinks like this. Now, as soon as I tap that icon, and then it changes, it makes the top blue, and it changes to like a little X, I guess you would say, that's when I have changed to writing mode. So I'm going to tap the pen tool over here, and you'll see I can start writing. That's just a scribble. If I want to undo, I tap the undo up here. So that's one critical thing to note. And I will tell you, when you first start using this, here's what's going to happen, because this happens all the time. So you're going to be like writing your plans on, your calendar, and then you're going to be like, oh, I want to go to August. You're going to tap it and nothing's going to happen. And I don't know if you can see when I zoom in, what it actually did was it made a little mark on August. That's because I forgot to switch it to read mode. So for the hyperlinks to work, you definitely have to tap to go to read mode. So I just want to remind you of that, because it happens all the time. So don't panic. And once you've used this for a few days, it becomes second nature. Like, I don't even think about it. I immediately tap before I want to navigate the hyperlinks. So for example, in this planner, you can navigate just like you could in a physical planner to the different tabs, but that is not all. And this is what makes these digital planners so amazing. So I've clicked on the month of April tab, and Within the month, there are also hyperlinks. So let's say that I want to navigate to the page per day for the 8th. I simply tap on that, and now I am on the page that is for the 8th of the month. In addition to that, I'm gonna go back to April, and let's say that I want the weekly layout for this week. I just tap that, and I'm right there in the weekly layout. In addition to that, we have it hyperlinked so that when I click Monday, for example, it goes to that particular day. Now, it is really important to note if you are shopping for digital planners that these are things that we as digital planner creators put in. And so not all digital planners are created equal. So just because, say, you use the digital planner that you bought for me and it has hyperlinks on the month to all the days, it doesn't mean that every single one person who makes a digital planner does that. So that's something to look out for. And the more hyperlinks that there are in the planner, the better. That is a little tricky to find because we literally go in and add every single hyperlink manually. So as you can imagine, it takes a lot of time. And so you'll want to make sure that it has the hyperlinks that you're looking for. So that's an overview of how the hyperlinks work. I also want to show you in a different planner how they work and how they can be useful. So I'm going to show you here in our May 2020 monthly pack. We have a monthly pack digital planner for each month, and this is our May 2020. And the way that we have this one set up is not so much like your traditional planner, but instead you just have one thing for each month, one book for each month that covers basically everything that you need. So instead of it having months over here on the tabs, it is going to take you to a certain theme. So home takes you back right where we are. Calendar is going to take you to the monthly calendar. Weekly is going to take you to the different weeks, and you'll see how we have this planner laid out pretty differently. Daily will take you to the different days, and you can still kind of scroll through. So I take my pencil and just kind of drag across, and that just flips from page to page. You can also use your finger. I tend to use my pencil because I already have it. And then this has our goal section, our meals section, notes section. You'll see I use this section all the time. I know it looks sloppy, but this is the way that I like to use it. And we have reflection and memories. So that's how that works. I'll also show you here in our Sweet Life Planner, we have even more tabs for you. So this is how we have tabs for the months on the side, and then at the top, it's just like a quick, almost like a bookmark, a quick way to go to your year at a glance, a quick way to go to your goals, your notes, or your stickers. So that's another way that a lot of digital planners will use the hyperlinking feature. Now, let me show you a couple of other things that I think are really important to understand to be able to use this effectively. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back to writing mode by tapping that little, I call it a lasso. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be called. So when I go back, now I'm in the mode where I can edit this. And when I click this little pin, I can choose whether I want fountain, ball, or brush pin. Now, if I just tap once lightly, so like say I'm over like on the eraser and then I tap the pin, it's gonna go back to whatever I whatever I had last used. But if I tap it again, I can make different choices. Right here is where you change the colors of the pin. So these are preset colors. I can also choose a custom color, put in a hex number, so any color I want, I could use for pins. And then there's 3 little default boxes. So basically what this does is just makes it where you can easily and quickly change from one color to the next. Right here are your thickness settings. So let me show you. So this is the thin setting. And I also want to note, anytime I write on this, so it would be pretty difficult for me to write right here with it being so small. I also want to note in this video, I have this iPad propped up. It's just easier for me to write on when I am talking to the camera. But on a general basis, when I'm using this, I have it flipped completely over. So I'm writing on it like I would write on a regular piece of paper. It would be very difficult to do all your writing with it propped up like that. So I wouldn't recommend that. Also, when you're getting a pencil, the Apple Pencil has this, and many off-brand pencils have palm rejection. So that means I can rest my hand and it doesn't think that my hand is trying to write on it. So it really does work very much like paper. I should also mention here This is the Apple brand keyboard that I have. So this particular keyboard, it's not really a case, but keyboard slash cover, it knows when you have it flipped open and it doesn't let you press any of those keys. Like if they got pressed, it wouldn't count that as input because it knows you have it flipped back. Not every single keyboard may have that feature. If you're going to use it a lot for the digital planner features and you're going to be writing in it, I would highly recommend if you get a keyboard that you make sure that it does have that feature. Now, when I do write on it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pinch and spread my fingers out, and that will make it bigger. And this really becomes second nature. I was really surprised when I started using the digital planner within just a couple days. This was just second nature to me. And now when I try to use my paper planner, I'm honestly annoyed that I can't enlarge it. So I'll show you how this looks. So the really thin line, you'll see writes thin, then I've got thicker and even thicker. Now, if I tap each of these, I can customize. Basically, you tap twice to customize how thin is a thin line. You know, so you can basically default your thicknesses to whatever you'd like. Then I'm going to tap the eraser. If you have the Apple Pro pencil, and there is a difference, I think, in the standard and the Pro, it'll let you tap on the pencil to switch back from eraser to writing. So that's kind of handy. I will say I honestly don't even use that feature just because I'm so used to tapping on the screen, but that is a feature of some pencils that you can kind of flip back and forth without even having to tap the screen. So when I want to write something, this zooming in will allow me to write neater, easier, and I could even do something like, let's go to this middle thickness, using this line and turning it into 2 lines. And that's something that I do a lot. And then I just grab it and pull my fingers forward, closer together to bring it to a standard zoom. And then you can see what that looks like. So I love that feature of digital planners. Next, I want to talk about the different features up here. We have the highlighter. So you can, this is the eraser. You can highlight in any type of color that you want. So the sky is the limit. Again, you can go here and preset or put in any hex code for any color that you might want. I love highlighting in gray. I don't know. A lot of times I will use a color for my pen and then I highlight things in gray when I'm done. So this is how you highlight. Just drag it over. One thing about the highlighter is I have it on the setting where it straightens it for me. So it smooths out my line automatically. That is a setting you can control if you don't like that feature. I personally like it. These are shapes. This is not something that I personally use a lot, but it smooths out the shapes as I draw them and kind of connects them. So there might be some applications where you'd want to use that. I'm going to go ahead and undo that. This is where you can insert any kind of image that you would like. So let's say that I was using this as like a memory book. I could tap this picture of my daughter and then it puts it in here. If I want to take it off, I would press there. And then if I click here and kind of drag, I can either rotate it or make it smaller. So I could put like a little picture in each square if I wanted to. I could also say I had a daily layout and I wanted to add memories. I could do something like that. So you can put any photo in your digital planner that you would like. You can also take a photo here. You can also type. So when I click this, it's going to let me type. So I can type in there and then I'm using the actual keyboard to say hello. Now you can see this is super, super tiny. So to change your text settings, you can go right there. And I think I do need to highlight it to make the changes. So I'm going to zoom in so we can really see here. Then I'm going to click and hold and then click select so that it selects the word. And then I can click here and apply the different changes. So I can make it a lot bigger, change the font, all those things. So you can type in it if you prefer. Again, I'm using the keyboard the Apple keyboard. You obviously will need a keyboard for your iPad if you want to use the typing feature. I will say that personally, I don't use that a lot when I'm using the digital planner, but I have seen a lot of people who you just prefer to type because it's easier or your typing is neater. And so that's an option for you if you'd like to do that. This is like a pointer that I honestly don't use. So if you do, I'm really curious how you use it, but that's not something that I use regularly. Now, the last thing that I did not tell you about is the Lasso tool here, and this tool is amazing. So I'm going to go to my May monthly planner, and I'm going to show you here on this list, and you'll notice we write the most random things. This was on the left was a list that my daughter wanted me to write for her, in case you're wondering why my to-do lists are so strange. Okay, so I have selected the read mode here, and I am going to select this Lasso tool here, and you'll see the different selections that I have. These are default, and I've never actually changed those. And what I'm going to be able to do is, let's say that I want to cut out where it says homeschool curriculum review, and I want to move it down so I can add something else on that line. And that's something that really does happen all the time, that you want to move something. This is how easy it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and lasso this, and I'll explain in a second how you lasso. Then I'm going to be able to I'm just tapping and moving it down. It's that easy. Now, I obviously neglected to grab the little dashes. You can grab those now. And it's that easy. So when I'm lassoing, what I'm doing is, and this is something that you want to understand when you're using this feature, especially if you're using handwriting that's not as neat as typing, is that to grab the item, I don't want to bring, like, say, this Y down. If I were to go like this and grab everything in here, if there's something on this line, it would grab it, and it would grab that Y with it, like as I try to move it down. I'm gonna undo that. So we don't want that. But here's the thing. If I grab any portion of a continuous line, so look at how thin that is, it's still gonna grab it. Now there I got too close to the Y and it grabbed that. So let's go a little further away from that. So you can be pretty sloppy with your lassoing, and it's still gonna work the way you would like. So that is a super handy tool. I also want to show you one other thing. Let's do it on this little section here. And this is even my daughter's actual handwriting. I'm anxious to see if it will work on her handwriting. So I'm gonna grab the lasso, and I'm gonna lasso, let's say, these things. Okay, now I could move these down, just like that. Or if I tap in here, so I'm gonna tap and hold, that's important. So like I'm pushing on it and I'm keeping the pencil there until it brings up this little menu. Now I could take a screenshot, so I could like copy this in or use it anywhere exactly as written. And it's only gonna take my writing. It's not going to take whatever's in the background, like what you're writing on. So it won't take the lines and any of the other things. I could do that. I could resize it so I could make it smaller. I could recolor it. Now that's handy if you're like, hey, I didn't want this black, I wanted it pink. You could do that. You could cut it, copy it, and if you have other Apple devices, if that's all you're using, I can copy from here and it will show up on my computer, and I'm pointing over there because that's where my computer is on my desktop. So I can do that, but this is what's so cool. Click this convert, I'm tapping that, and it converts it to actual text. So it will take my handwriting and put it into text. And then what I would do with that is click this little thing, and I can go ahead and like airdrop it to people. I can copy it, something I do all the time, print it, put it in a little note, anything like that. So I'll tell you how I actually use this feature. So let me go back here and show you. Okay, so this is a course that I am working on creating, and I like to outline things like quote unquote on paper. I mean, I used to literally do it on paper. Now I do it on my digital planner, but I like to actually have the feel of like writing, and I like to be able to cut something and move it. And so I don't want to sit down at the computer and type it in. However, I eventually need this to make its way into a like typed out computer format so that I can share it with others, so that I can edit it easier and all that. So I'll just outline it here, and then I will go ahead and lasso it, convert it to text, and copy and paste it into like a Google Doc or a task management system or something like that. Now, the last thing I want to show you how to do that I know is a question I get a lot is how to use stickers in your digital planner, and you can totally do that. So let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to show you this in our digital Sweet Life planner. So Here in the planner, we have this tab for stickers, and you're gonna see that it's a blank space for you to put your stickers in there. Any stickers that you want, we have this here so you can navigate quickly to your stickers. So in order to use stickers, all you need to do is click this lasso so you can go into your tools mode. And then I have stickers loaded into my photos. There are different ways of doing this. I kind of think this is the easiest way. I'm gonna go to recents and I'm gonna grab this sticker. Now you're gonna see it's really, really big. So I'm just gonna size it down to a more manageable size. And so this is like a catalog of stickers. So if I keep these here, I will never have to like bother to insert the pictures. Oops, again, I'm gonna undo that. I accidentally did not scale proportionally. I do recommend always scaling proportionally. It will let you scale out of proportion, but you'll see that your stickers will get really skewed and funny looking. So I'd recommend always staying proportional. Then I'm gonna tap off that. I'm gonna go back and grab another sticker. And we do also have these stickers available if you are interested in those. Not just these 3, but several more. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that right there. So I'm just kind of making my own catalog of stickers. You can also bring these in from files if they're not on your actual photo roll or whatever. But so now I have my own stickers. Now let's say that here I am in like January and I know read only so I can navigate there. So I'm here in January, February, and I want to put a sticker on my like on here. So what I would do is I would navigate to stickers. And then I would use my lasso tool. So I'm gonna grab this and then I'm just gonna lasso around it, tap it, copy it, and then I go back to the page where I would like to use it. So let's say it's this page right here, and I'm just gonna zoom in a little, hold down. I'm just holding down with a pencil, and that will bring that little tiny menu up to where I can paste it in. And then once I paste it, it's going to let me resize it. Now, one important thing to note about stickers is I wouldn't recommend using just any image that you have. You want something that is designed for this purpose. You want the background to be transparent so that if I have written here, I want that writing to show up. And if there was like a square around it, it would cover that. So you want just the sticker part to be there. So that's really important, but that's how you can use stickers. So you can see how many options you have, knowing that you can even decorate your planners with stickers or use them functionally. Like if you wanted to say, have circle stickers, this is something I do a lot, and kind of color code over here, you could totally do that. So there's so many options for using stickers to decorate your planner. I hope this has helped you learn how to use a digital planner on GoodNotes. I'm gonna tell you, for me, these digital planners have been a game changer. Now, don't forget, if you wanna get your own digital planner, go ahead and click the link below and you can see the different ones that we have available. And I'd love to know, have you tried a digital planner before, or do you plan to after watching this video? Let me know in the comments below.